And right now we are 2 minutes away from the end of the trading day. Romaine Bostick alongside Katie Greifeld taking you through to that closing bell with a global simulcast. We're joined right now by Carol Massar and Tim Stenovec in the radio booth. Welcome to our audiences across all of our Bloomberg platforms as we keep an eye on the market and two developing stories here as we get closer to the closing bells. One involving the agriculture company Corteva, a report by the Wall Street Journal that they may actually be planning the potential of separating out their businesses into two. Those shares moving higher, and a scoop by reporters here at Bloomberg News as now Bank of America is said to be planning a shakeup of its senior leadership roles in an effort to narrow the slate of potential successors to longtime CEO Brian Moynihan.
Yeah, it's a busy Friday afternoon, and as you said, Romaine, Corteva shares up almost 3% on that news. Bank of America has been kind of little movements in today's session, a little bit higher at one point, a little bit lower, just down about 0.25%. But yeah, companies are certainly making changes at their companies.
I know there's always...
Tim is flummoxed by this.
I'm flummoxed a little bit because we're seeing, in the one sense, we're seeing companies break up, like, a Comcast, for example, spin off an asset that's not performing as well. And we see that all the time. In another sense, we're seeing companies potentially combine. Paramount Skydance and Warner Brothers Discovery. We see consolidation there. But on the big picture, we're seeing a lot of companies separate right now. It makes me think of a few years ago, GE breaking up into 3 different companies and kind of starting this wave of moving away from these large conglomerates and really spinning things off into seperate companies.
Well, you look at the price performance afterwards. Spin-offs are very popular among investors as well, companies and investors.
All right. We're going to keep an eye on those stories, but let's walk you through real quickly what happened in financial markets today. A mixed bag for most of the major financial markets. It takes a while for these numbers to settle, but as you look at the S&P 500, it looks like it's going to close the day relatively unchanged, but it is with the down arrow. So that streak of gains and that daily win streak that had been trying to stretch into a 5th day, that is now over. Down about 3 points here on the day, but still holding just below 6,600. The Dow Jones Industrial Average pulling back by 273 points or 0.6%. But the NASDAQ, both the composite and the NASDAQ 100 higher on the day. And we should point out for the NASDAQ 100, this is actually, I believe, going to be the 8th straight day of gains that we're seeing for the NASDAQ 100 and the 3rd straight day of record highs. The Russell 2000, though, it's sitting this one out in a big way, down 25 points or 1%.
Yeah, really defining, I feel like, tone to the market this week. If you look at the major averages and what we've seen. But I'm looking at what happened today, and it felt like investors taking a bit of a breather. 385 names in the S&P 500, Katie, lower in today's session, 116 to the upside.
Well, let's talk to the circle about it and see what the colors show. You can see that there is kind of an even split when you look at it that way, but on the absolute sector level, you had 4 in the green, 7 in the red. What did do well today, as you can see, technology, that was reflected in the NASDAQ 100 as well. Utilities also having a good day, but then you take a look at what didn't do too hot. Healthcare, materials, industrials leading us lower on this Friday.
I'm sorry, when you look at the circle, it speaks to you?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah, I just sort of open up my heart and my ears, and it tells me what happens.
And you're the only one who can hear that.
All right. Let's get to some of the individual gainers. Warner Brothers Discovery, folks, adding on another 17% in today's session after about a 29% gain yesterday. The stock I'm looking at, I think it's up about 56% for the week overall here. And again, this is just building on, since we've got that report that Paramount Skydance, the Hollywood studio taken over by independent filmmaker David Ellison, has said, or is said to be preparing a bid for the company, according to those in the know. So this stock, I think, your number one gainer in both the S&P 500, NASDAQ 100.
I find this fascinating, though. I mean, the run up. I mean, you mentioned the 50, it's like 56% jump, but the idea is that you're basically saying that the combination, or more importantly, the premium that they would pay, investors think, is going to be about 56% more than what it was earlier this week?
It's pretty amazing. I don't know. I still think, right, you'd buy something and then sell off some parts. It is a gamble, right? Especially in this environment where you see
how do you have CNN
such a crowded space?
CNN and CBS coexisting? Like, I don't know if there are news challenges.
Yeah, I hate to break this to you, Tim, but...
What?
Never mind. Go on. I don't want to get myself in trouble.
It's a good question.
I've already gotten in enough trouble this week.
Yeah, you canceled our weekly lunches. Anyway, go on.
Different networks, different audiences. Okay, all right, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are regulatory. There are. I think there are regulatory questions about this.
Is there any more?
Are there?
I don't know that there is. There's so many
for
ways
David
to get
Ellison?
content.
Okay.
Okay.
What are you saying?
All right.
You're going to get
Thank
into
you,
trouble.
Romaine.
I
All
think
right.
you should stop talking now. All right. I don't want you to get into trouble. All right. Tesla, also an outperformer and a top gainer in some of the major equity averages today, up about 7.4%. Investors definitely watching to see how quickly the company can expand its robo-taxi service to other states after it launched in Austin in June to a small group of users. And I got to point out, if you haven't watched it, you should definitely check out the B-Tech team's interview with the chair of the Tesla board, Robin Denholm. They talk succession, the massive pay package. Basically, they're all in on Elon continuing to run this company through what they say kind of our disruptive times. So I think that's an interesting one. Micron Technology, I might have been a record close today, so forgive me for not getting that in place, but it's up.
Do you not check this stuff before you come on?
You know, I get a lot of, I don't know about you, but I don't have minions like helping me do stuff.
Well,
Here,
let
I'll
me
be
tell
your
you, I have the
minion,
best
Carol.
minions
I'll
in
be
the
your minion.
business.
It's a
Thank you
record.
very much. Which is why we get lunch for them every day here at Bloomberg Television. And yes, Micron, record high, best day
It's a
since
record.
going public back in
Besides,
1984.
I want to give you something to say, otherwise you would feel so left out.
How dare you call them minions?
Micron Technology up about 4.5%. So
You know
a
they can
record
hear
close. Analysts yesterday, I know, but they aren't the minions I'm talking about. Analysts touting the chip makers' growth potential in the data center market. Keep in mind, this one reports September 23rd. We've seen Citi boosting its price target. There's a lot going on. I think the stock was up about 19-20% for the year. Just mentioning Gemini, because if I don't, Romaine's going to say something. It is up an IPO, another one in the crypto space, up 14% here at the close, and Corteva, because we just talked about up about 1.8% on that Wall Street Journal report that maybe that it could separate into two separate companies.
Can I just also honorable mention, I know Tim has to get to his decliners, but BlackRock Coffee, you missed it. I mean, you mentioned that. I mean, I had a IPO at 20, closed today at 27.67. Great day.
Not the Larry Fink BlackRock Coffee.
Yes, it's like a Dutch Bros drive-through coffee, Portland, Oregon based.
Now, have they spoken with Larry Fink about this? They're okay with this?
I don't know about
There's
that.
a space in between black and rock, so it differentiates them.
Finley is not
This is why I
minion.
should have been
I'm
a
just gonna
lawyer.
put that out there.
Lawyers
She
always make
approved
out.
my gainers list.
The
so I'm
people,
just
the
gonna put that
people.
out.
Are you
going to
let Tim talk now? Thank you. Go ahead, Tim.
People want to hear the decliners. I want to start with the second worst performing stock in the S&P 500 today, mRNA. Moderna down 7.4%. Shares fell after a report from the Washington Post said that health officials in the Trump administration plan to link COVID shots to the deaths of around 24 children in a presentation to advisors to the CDC next week. Shares down 7.4%. RH ended up falling 4.6% in today's trade. The company did cut its revenue forecast for the full year. The effect of tariffs, the delay of its seasonal catalog. Gary Friedman, who has been outspoken about tariffs over the last few months, told analysts that the industry needs to offer discounts to stay afloat due to the weak housing market. Yeah?
Was that his full quote?
No, that wasn't his full quote. God forbid they throw another tariff on furniture, Friedman said on Thursday night. Someone has got to come talk to us, talk to me, call me. I'll run the biggest luxury home brand in the world.
That was verbatim?
That was verbatim, yeah.
I love that energy.
Yeah. Shares fell, once again, 4.6%. And finally, a check on Open Door after the week that was. Shares up 80% yesterday, fallen a little bit today, down 14%. Still the most actively traded stock in the index. The excitement around the company, or at least the trading around the company, continues.
All right, let's take a quick look at yields here. It was an interesting week for yields because we talk about the idea of the trend line sort of reversing just a little bit. Long-term yields lower for a second straight week to the lowest level since April. And then we should point out the short-term yields rising for the first time in 5. Now, overall, what you're looking at there on your screen are the daily moves, and they all are higher. And that, of course, is the setup, Carol, as we head into the Fed's two-day policy meeting that starts on Tuesday.
Oh, we have no time for chats, huh?
No time for chat.
What did you want to chat?
We chatted already, Carol, about your gainers.
There's so much more to say, though, you know?
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Carnival
Next
has
time.
a new non-alcoholic.
Are you here all 5 days next week? Or?
We are...
So no. All right.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, we're here.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we're here.
All
But
right.
it's Fed Day on Wednesday, guys.
Yeah,
Yes.
so kind of not here-ish.
So,
Well,
yeah.
until the close. Until we meet up with you, lovely folks.
Most consequential Fed day.
Full disclosure, I don't believe your team has any minions. Because I really,
All right.